exactly 98 years ago from today, we lost the RMS Lusitania to a fate of torpedo. A submarine found it and torpedoed it, and then a second explosion occurred. To this day, it's debated whether the second explosion was exploding mutations, or if it was actually a second torpedo. The ship went down very quickly in just 18 minutes, and few believed that the forces of those two explosions would be enough to bring such a large ship down in so little time. My theory would be, compared to the Titanic, for example. The Titanic took 2 hours to sink, but Lusitania only 18 minutes. That's probably because of the forces. I would imagine an iceberg, the force of that isn't as hard as the force of a torpedo and exploding ammunition. I'd imagine that two explosions have a harder force, and therefore cause a bigger gap and a bigger flood. Plus, the Titanic, maybe its metal was stronger, because it was its first voyage. Lusitania had already sailed about 126 times before it went out to sea, to this voyage, so maybe the metal was a little more weak than it was when it begun. But no one knows that's just my theory, no one knows exactly why the ship sunk so quickly. Several questions are left forever unanswered, along with several people left forever unfound. The Lusitania carried about 129 children, and only 35 came back. It also carried 39 infants. Only a quarter of a dozen, or should I say 4, babies came back. Altogether, of the 2,000 people, 764 survived. The other 1,198 passengers either drowned, froze, disappeared, or died in some collision. Maybe like they slammed into something when the ship was sinking. Or a few may have died after getting back to land. The Lusitania is one of the biggest events that ever drew us into World War I. Had the Lusitania not sink, maybe we never would have been in a World War I. Maybe we never would have joined it. Or maybe if we never had that horrible president, Woodrow Wilson, as our president, maybe we never would have joined the war still. I'm just saying Woodrow Wilson's a bad president, in my opinion. Anyway, it is the 98th anniversary of the Lusitania. And of all the lost lives on it, may they never be forgotten. Even though it's been 98 years, we will now give a moment of silence to the Lusitania and all of its victims who died or disappeared on the ship. Okay. The wreck of the Lusitania, from what I know, now lies in 300 feet of water, or 90 meters. There's lying at about, lying off the south coast of Old Kinsale, where it sank, where it was torpedoed. That's pretty much it.